system overload all right as stream begins. Love this. This is great. Love this so much. Okay. There's audio. Seems like there's yes. Hello. Okay. I just had to make sure everything was still working. Ooh, goodness gracious. Welcome in. Welcome in. I love that there was a system overload on this. Like, this is not too much. Calm down. Anyway, welcome into the Monday stream. I am excited for this. I'm also still fighting with a not as bad headache now, but it's been pretty gnarly all day. Um, but yeah, I wanted to talk about the composition process for how I came up with this music. I'm not sure if there was much of a process as I was in school doing it, but it's all good. I don't know why I wanted to write this to begin with. Let's open a different thing. I didn't want to start with this one. We could start with this. Let's see. I'm going to start with. I just saw it. Okay. Let's start with Greek Road Trip. Because this was something I actually didn't do for school. Sure, save. This is definitely something I did just for myself. It's a hot mess. It's a real hot mess. I'm trying to figure out what instrument why I decided to go with. Oh. Interesting. I really wish it would maintain the clefs. Anyways, before I start digging deep, I want to ask everyone how you're doing. How's your week? How was your weekend? How's your week been so far? It's been Monday. It's been the most Monday could be. I had plans. All the plans got weird and ruined. I'm not gonna let it get me down. I have a plan of action for how the rest of this week is gonna go. Though tomorrow is gonna be also weird. So that's fine. Okay. So let's see. I realized there was a difference that I heard in this that I needed to find what it was, but because this is pretty much copy paste for two measures or four measures. Or better yet, the first two measures are copy pasted to measures 3 and 4. But I'm trying to figure out why something sounded different, and it really shouldn't make a bit. Oh, I think I see. Why does that sound so different? What? Why does it sound like it went up there? So, what if I slow this down? Let's slow it down to like 80. Interesting. I couldn't tell you why it's why it. I assume this is a feature of the MIDI of the Turkish oud lute. I don't know how to pronounce that. I should probably figure it out. Um, I think it's probably a feature of the MIDI instrument where it actually will give a little extra um, timbre or something other the sound of the string. I don't know. Maybe it's a harmonic that naturally happens. I don't know. I definitely wrote this one hand at a time because I don't have the ability to write both hands on the piano at the same time unless the left hand's not doing too much. Because my left hand is, how do I say, dumb, and so and so it's just it's just the definitely did this in two hands. However, it does look like the right hand got part of the left hand stuff. Like this note right here is definitely something that should have been in the left hand, but for some reason, Logic Pro is anti keeping things in the clef that it belongs. I understand that this is middle C sharp, and that it goes above the middle C, which means it has to go in the right hand according to this, but uh, that would be incorrect. That'd be very incorrect. But it did the same thing with everything else. Anything that was C sharp goes in the right hand, and that's annoying. It makes it really difficult to read. And then if anything in the right hand goes below middle C, then it's like, guess it goes in the left hand now, and I'm like, maybe it doesn't. How does that sound? Yep, that's fun. Definitely wrote this. I think I wrote this in just a couple of days, couple of sessions of sitting down and playing around. Um, Definitely this first part that doesn't sound so classical, because I don't think this first part sounds very classical. I think it sounds very not that. I don't think it sounds particularly Greek or anything. I was just playing with sounds. I should definitely think about what it actually sounds like, but I think that was just my want to learn how that music sounds anyway, and see if I can at least somewhat guess and emulate. That's okay. It's okay. I just think it sounds really cool whenever I do hear music that is not of what I grew up listening to. Let's speed this up. Mm, it's a little bit fast. I don't know where it was before. Probably 106. Yeah, starting at about measure 13, it gets real classical sounding. Maybe let's start at 12 then. 13, yeah. And then 17, it gets super classical sounding. And that's also fine. I think this is a point. I think this was within my first year of actually starting composition courses, because in the first year of college, I had to be in flute courses because I was at that point you had to get 1 year of your instrument private lessons done before you could start your composition stuff. But at that time, I still thought I would be your performance. I don't know why I thought I wanted to perform on the flute. Um, I thought I was all right and I would get better. And I would get better if I enjoyed practicing. I enjoy practicing composing so much more than playing the flute, though. Which is why I switched my major to composition. The course structure wasn't any different, just who taught what was. And also the fact that there was a high chance that I would have to do more than one performance a year. But I didn't personally have to do it, and honestly, that was great. Hello, welcome in. Nice to see you. Whoever you are. Ahoy, tiny pants. Ahoy. I wish I knew more pirate speak, but I just decided not to. How their winds blow ye places? How are you doing? I really tried. Oh my goodness. How's life going? How's work? How's everything? I am fighting a headache, though it's a lot less than it could have been than it has been all day. Truly. I first what I should say is that I first read that his life is meth, and I was like, oh, I had to pause for a brief second, but then I was like, meh, truly, um, life is meth could be the same, could be the same for all we know. I've never tried meth, never wanted to. I'm not even sure how one does the meth, but feels like it's a little bit wild and out there. Oh, okay. Well, I'm glad you showed up for this much, but I hope the prayer goes well. I don't. What is a novena prayer? I feel like I could maybe look it up, but also that would be really hard to do on the setup. Also true, true, very much so. If I'm gonna have to lose my teeth, I don't want to do lose them doing meth. That's for sure. Anyway, we're going over. Today I decided because I have such a headache, and I don't think I can be creative with such a headache. I wanted to do. Oh, very cool. Interesting. Very cool. How long does that usually take? Oh, okay. My condolences. That's always rough. How long does I don't know how long it takes to pray the rosary or to say the prayer of the rosary or what it's called, but um, I don't know. But I hope it goes well. Uh, oh yeah, I forgot I was in the middle of a sentence. Goodness gracious. Okay, that's such a long prayer. Goodness gracious, that's a lot. It's like that sometimes. It's very rare that I get an actual headache to migraine, but today it was on the verge of a migraine. I could feel it, and I was just like, let's just nap it out. But I couldn't. I can't say I can't. I couldn't do it comfortably because I was in the car most of the day. I didn't go anywhere. Just sat. True. Just said I was at home, so I was in my car, and because I was people were in my apartment I couldn't be in at the time, so I just sat there, which is one of the reasons why my whole day was kind of messed up. But it was fine ultimately, and as much as I want to say I was uncomfortable, I truly love sleeping in my car. I've done it so much in my life. Not homelessly, I did that in the hotel, but definitely just in general, a good nap in the car is so comfortable. Maybe more comfortable than my bed. Um, just the restrictions of the steering wheel and the console do get in the way. But if I laid down the seats flat and had a nice little cushion, I could lay in the back of my car along the back seat and the trunk pretty comfortably. And it didn't even start off as a bad headache today. Anyway, talking about music tonight. I wanted to revisit some of the stuff that I wrote specifically during college and a little bit afterwards. Because I did stop writing for 3 years. Anyway, yes. Welcome in, Queen Jazz. Boo boo, bad headaches, indeed. Hate that. um, I wrote this piece called Greek Road Trip somewhere in my first year, so around 2001, 2002, because I could only take my composition courses after my first year of college because they force you to take your main instrument private lessons first, which is fine. But I also thought I was going to be a performing flautist until I realized I, number one, didn't like my teacher, and number two, didn't like playing in front of people. So, like, I was cool being like first place in high school, first chair in high school, because I was in band, but I didn't, and I liked being in the ensemble, and I enjoyed playing with other people. But but then I had to play by myself, and I was like, don't like that. Anyway, I was going over this piece, where at measure 13, it turns real classical. This is called Greek Road Trip. Don't know what was on my mind then. I just knew that I wanted it to sound like maybe what Greece would sound like, or like I was inspired by a picture of Santorini or something like that. Um, so yeah. Hey, Queen Jazz, how did the game go? Has been a winner, and did y'all practice the music? And while you answer that, I'm going to play. I will say this just shows how much I've always been in love with triplets and the two against three polyrhythm. I love that polyrhythm. Three against four is fine. Five against three, fantastic. Love it. Anyway, I've been looking at this for a little bit. I just knew that I wanted it to have a different tonality than I was used to, and I think I had seen some videos or something like that. I couldn't tell you what inspired me at the time because this was literally, so this was like 2001, 2002. So of course I hadn't seen videos. That wasn't really a thing on the internet. Actually it was, but not as widespread now. I just know that I had been listening to the music from those the encyclopedias on DVD or CD-ROM. There was like Encarta, and then there was the other one, and I had the other one. It was like Britannica or something like that. Anyway, I really found great joy in listening to those. In fact, I recently found a song based off of that was part of it, as one of the instrument samples, because they had instrument samples, and you got to hear a little snippet of a song that would be played, and that's where I got a lot of my thoughts from. It's like Britannica 98 or something. It wasn't Britannica, I don't think. Anyway, I've recently found a song that was from a Chinese opera, and it's every bit as cool as I ever wanted it to be. The entire thing. Found it by happenstance. Goodness gracious! I just want to move the microphone. Okay, we're not moving the microphone. I guess it just refused. There we go. Refused to move. All right, let's move on because I've talked about this for far too long, and it's not even that long or interesting. Don't save. No need. Opium. How's y'all's Monday? How's y'all's weekend? Um. Oh, what's that? I don't know if that was a separate entity, but let's talk about this. Let's talk about flutes. Because yes, I had been in the flute repertoire, everything set for a year, and I enjoyed the ensemble flute stuff, and we actually had to play recitals and stuff like that. Um, and so I would found great inspiration in that. So this is actually a five flute, wrong, four-part flute, marimba, and double bass piece of music. Okay. I don't know if this is going to be correct in terms of. Oh, yeah, it is. It should be. I did the correcting. So this started off as just me going, I want to write a thing that sounds like what I was playing in flute choir. And so we have been playing a lot of Brazilian music and everything. And since I don't know much about Brazil, I was like, well, I can write a funky thing that kind of sounds like something. So I wrote this. Mm. Okay, hear me out. Hear me out. Let's drag everything down to this. I don't think it'll sound good, but we're going to test it. Otherwise, we're going to drag it back up and we're going to hear it in real short staccato. It literally doesn't sound like anything. It just sounds like much. So let's go ahead. Oh, I think I was playing with the instrument, so now there's a clarinet somewhere in here. It is. I really made the marimba is work. I should clarify that this is literally called Los Huevos Verdes y Jamon, which is just green eggs and ham. Why is this one doing the thing that's not correct? Ooh, we had a key change. It was mean. We went from like three flats to like six sharps. Chaos, I say. Chaos. I, For a while there, I didn't really like it, and actually, I was really sad because I lost the ending, the original ending. But luckily, there's an actual recording of the performance of this, minus one flute, and I wasn't about to play it myself. Um, because it needed the change. It needed something different. We've been there for so long. We were here. Actually, we were, because that's where the key change was. We're winding up for something chaos. That silence. I was very particular about my silences in this. But luckily, I was able to listen to the recording and re-notate it down. It took some time because it wasn't exactly clear, but I was able to, and I was very excited about that. One, so this, I don't think I spent too long writing this because it was relatively easy. And luckily, I can, put it down by part. This was also in three. Because this is a pretty simple harmony. I truly went by what I thought sounded good. And I think it does sound good. I wish I could, that was about to be a real stupid statement. I want you to see this measure right here. Measure 25. Score. Of course, you're going to be like this. Measure 25. Okay. So measure 25 and 26 look pretty normal. But again, this is where we come into the 2 against 3 polyrhythm. Because here, I guess it's measure 24. Yeah, measure 24. So we'll start at 23. And I'll even slow it down. Remember, it's at 130. So, alto flute, which was actually played on an alto flute. Well, it wasn't actually played on an alto flute. It could have been. Just like the lowest flute part could have been played on a bass flute and probably really needed to be. But ultimately, the person who was supposed to perform that day with the group didn't. And so we just didn't have that part. So I guess it wasn't really necessary altogether, I suppose. But I really wanted the entire sound. But that could have been played on bass flute, which I think Lamar may have had a bass flute. Could have at least played it on like the bass recorder because I did have to play that in my counterpoint class. But yeah, this was 3 against 2 in the most chaotic sense. Yeah, measure 24 is just a little bit mean. But not really because luckily they're not having to play it all at the same time. Yeah, it was just 3 against 2 and I really liked the sound of it. And then the double bass, I just want it to sound like a party. Then you can hear a key change happen. I think I was pretty inspired by Bolero with this. I will say that. No, I had a keyboard. I had a keyboard that I had gotten for, I don't know, maybe Christmas or something. Maybe I bought it myself. I don't know. I had a keyboard where you could actually play, one of those standard old keyboards where you could put your settings in and play stuff. There was one that was what setting? Bossa Nova setting that I was obsessed with, and I would play all sorts of things with it, and that's where this rhythm comes from specifically, because I have been playing with it a lot, and I was like, I don't know how do I do that, and then I was playing on the keyboard, and I was like, oh, hey, I can make that with these two, and it worked out well with my fingers. Does it? And I made sure everyone had a solo. I've never seen the Great British Bake Off just because I haven't taken the time to sit down and watch it like most everything. But I've seen snippets and it seems hilarious. Ooh, let's talk about this particular change because so far the marimba's been pretty steady. There's been no real change of notes for a lot of measures, honestly. It says measure 30, 30. Do I know how to read? That's 38, 39, 39. Got it. Um, and then all of a sudden I'm like, hey, we're going to just change it up just a little bit. We're just going to change it just a little bit. And so that's when I said, let's do this. And then I proceeded to make them mad. So luckily I already have, this is my sectioned off piece. It just felt kind of mean. Cool. I will say, luckily, we had more practice time on this one than the other marimba piece we'll get to. All right, let's continue on. Let's see. I really wanted to just be a choir at this point. That's why I dropped the marimba and the bass out. Full flute choir. Oh, I forgot I had this. I thought I turned it off. That's annoying. Now we don't get the finish of that sentence essentially. Really? How fun. All right, let's speed it back up again. I guess I kind of wrote this as a round. Or a fugue, as others might call it too. And I was like, the marimba needs to have the melody a little bit. And then torture. That's funny. I'm gonna have to watch it just to see what that sounds like in the show. And that's green eggs and ham. To which I actually I cannot remember which friend gave it to me. Could have been Rachel. I don't know. Someone gave me Green Eggs and Ham, the book, which is already my favorite Dr. Seuss story. And, or when they're explaining what each person is going to bake with the illustrations. That's cool. Are you talking about just that section, that one that almost sounded a little bit serious? I love this camaraderie. Anyway, that's fun. Yes, I am too. So I actually have that book still. It's in my my storage container that's, at least waterproof, not fireproof. If it gets hit with fire, it's melting immediately. Oh no! Oh my goodness! I got an update. Now I can look at all my most recent stuff. This has been years that I haven't been able to open my recent stuff. That's crazy. Congrats. I don't know what was wrong with the other versions of the OS that it prevented me from seeing that, but here we are. Okay, so here's one. Let's hear a failure. Let's hear a failure. I failed a course. I failed an assignment. Um, and I turned it into a thing. Uh, I don't know why. Oh, I know why. Because it was a um, same. My teacher did too. I was like, this is so cool. I loved my teacher for that. She was really awesome. Uh, love Mrs. Neal, fifth, my kindergarten teacher. She's fantastic. Will always love her. She's somewhere doing something. Probably retired at this point. I have no idea how old she was, but I thought she's older than me, so she's got to be retired probably. Green eggs and ham. Heck, you had green eggs. You had green eggs and ham when you came to visit. And we ate at, oh, what was that? That was at Foxhole. You actually had green eggs and ham or something like that. It was green, and it shouldn't have been. But very cool. That was a more recent thing. That was a few years ago. All right, so this is called, well, it was an assignment for a class. We were talking about modulating, and I modulated to the wrong key. Therefore, it was correct until it wasn't, and then I got a 50. And I was real disappointed by that. Yes, the deviled eggs. They were that. You're right. They were deviled eggs. They were deviled eggs with, and they were green. It was great. It was avocado. Yes, so good. I was like, that's wild. I love that. Apparently, green eggs are gonna follow me throughout my whole life now. But this is, why did my voice just crack? We don't know. This is my failure of an assignment. The first part, the first two measures, perfect. It's based on something Mozart wrote. I couldn't tell you what. We just had to write the voice leading and then modulate to the right thing, and I did not. So let's hear it. We're not going to hear it with the pedal bass, the pedal tone of the organ, because I'm obsessed with the organ. Okay, so we weren't supposed to go there. We started off. Hmm. I don't remember. I think we were in F and we were supposed to modulate to the key of G major, and I said, "What about G minor?" And I took it, and I was wrong. I couldn't tell you what the full assignment was. I think I may have that book somewhere. But let's. This is something I've actually been playing with, and I actually have changed the melody over the not the melody, the accompaniment over the years. So we're just gonna. I don't remember the last thing I did with this. So let's talk about this low note right here. If you were to hear this in, can we do this thing? Thank you. If you were to hear this note in the room that it was being played in on an actual pipe organ, um, the room would be shaking. Your hair might be flying and vibrating because it's a very low note, and pipe organs are just conduits of sound and vibrations, and it's honestly a beautiful thing if you actually get to hear it in person. I have never been in the place of a full pipe organ that with the pipes and everything. I've been at church where they have the nice organ. It's really good, but it's nothing compared to feeling the sound waves of the ginormous and so many pipes. But it's still very, and to listen to really understand what I was thinking, because I was like, I want to feel this piece of music, and so I said, let's make it bass. So I did. This program really sucks at showing the tight notes because there's not that many repetitions of this C, and it doesn't show anything that's tied over like most everything here. Like this shouldn't be an eighth note. This should be a quarter note. Like I wish it would, but it didn't do. So I have to suffer with it. Anyway, this is my failure of an assignment that has turned into something I greatly love and will listen to even in my car, but I listen to anything that I write in my car for the most part. Yes. So let us continue. Let's continue down this rabbit hole. Um, I'm just so surprised I have my recent things that I opened working again. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. Um, okay, so I really have to think back to when I actually wrote some of this. Blah, 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 blah. Let's look at a Christmas song. I didn't write it, but I didn't. I don't even want to look at it. Never mind. Just forget it. We're gonna look at jungle music because this was like the summer between when I stopped being a flute flautist major to when I became a composition major. What is this mess? Why are you so large? It's just rest. Okay. This isn't good. I'm just gonna say right now, it's not good. Yes, this is also. Look, I play my music in my car, especially if I'm working on a piece where I want to figure out where I'm going next. So I just play it on repeat until it can be played no more, or I write something new. I have everything uploaded to YouTube, not published, just uploaded for me. And I have my playlist. Oops, my playlist is like 144 songs long, but it's only maybe like 25 because I have a lot of iterations of some of these, especially a symphonic struggle. That one definitely has about 25 different iterations. All of them either really different or so similar because I'm at the near the end of writing it. Anyway, this is jungle music. Why'd I call it that? I don't know. It's absolute garbage. Um, it starts off very differently than the rest. Like measure 13 is a turning point. So let's hear it. I don't want to, but we're going to. And apparently I put it all on marimba. I say as I shrug. No. No, but this song is. Let me tell you what happened. I know how this came to be. Um, First, I realized that the marimba has an incredible range. And if you play it low, if you play the low marimba notes, first of all, you get a lot of harmonics, but also you get the most resonant notes you could ever get. And that's where this bass line comes from. Let me turn this off so it doesn't start from the beginning every time I press play. And once again, this is the attack of the 3v2 polyrhythm again. There was a lot going on this one. Let's back up. this third marimba's doing? What is happening over here? Oh, this is always a trip listening to this because it's so not good. Oh, it's just giving us our whatever you want to call that. Simple. Love that. Cool. All right, so that's those two. What is this one doing? Giving us harmony to the melody. Now that I think about it, the bass line, or what is on the bass line, should actually be on the third marimba, and the third marimba should be on the fourth marimba line. I don't know why I call this jungle music, but I don't name things wisely when it's just going to be a file. This wasn't going to be performed in front of people, nor did it need to be. But here we are. This was purely for me. And honestly, I just write things just like I want to get out of here. Sounds like a jungle music. Sounds great, and save it. That's all that was. This one, let's see. I was definitely inspired by triplets as per usual. The number 3 all the time. Let's actually play this. Does it? Cool. I don't think I know what Filipino folk music sounds like. I'm going to have to look it up. Oh my goodness. I was definitely going for more of a closer to and mildly, I hadn't even given thought to this, but more of a African sound, like African drums, because I wanted it to be really rhythmic, but I didn't really understand rhythm at that point. Do I understand rhythm now? More. I do, yes. Can I still write African drums? Could I try writing African drums? I'd be better off today trying. Actually, I've been wanting to write Carnatic drums, but I need a lesson in what that means and common rhythms and whatnot. That's not something I can do at this point right now because other things need to happen in life. Let's see. Harmony. Based on the third. Yeah, it's pretty standard. Like, it's okay, but it's not great. That's all I'm saying. It's an okay piece. Wouldn't perform it in front of people. Seems like a waste of their time and money, maybe. But let's go to Chorale. This is the one that I finished it, but this version is only the first part because the rest of it's a literal chorale. I had plans for it. I had all sorts of fun plans for it. Let's listen to it real quick. This is something I wrote just for myself too. This is not for school. It was just a thing I was working on. I wanted it to be for school, but it never happened. Oh, let's pause because the piano wasn't actually part of this, and actually all this was sung by voice. But I have since changed it, and the added drums. It's strange, but this is what it is. actually, I still really like this, and I need to figure out what to do with the rest of it because in my brain, I still have the original ending, which ends in definitely like a very hymn ish. I was learning about cadences, and that's when I wrote this, but I think it's actually really interesting. Oh, and I decided to make it jazzy in my later. So what you see here that's highlighted was the original stuff, but with all in voice. Um, and then I decided in like the last 2 years that this needs to change, and I think it was only last year that I did it. And so I decided let's add funky piano. Let's add piano with all the notes. I had to go look back over there just to see if there was some more because it could have just deleted it or shoved it off to the side. But no, it's fully gone from this file. But this is this piece that I still don't know what to do with it, and that's why it. What is happening? Oh, I didn't tell it to stop. I was like, why is that number still running up? Uh, it's it's something that is eventually will want to finish up, especially as I learn more and more about jazz. But this was my attempt at different wider chords. Excuse me for a second. Excuse me. I didn't get to take my drugs today because my whole day was my whole routine was thrown off. So no allergy pills for me. I get to suffer. Love it for me. This is great. So my headache has been three different types of headache all day. Love it. You're funny. You're so funny. You can learn more about me all that you want that it won't let you what that you want that it won't let you be better at jazz music. Yep. I know how to read sometimes. Ooh. Wait, is Baltic Sea one of the ones that I wrote? Baltic Sea may have been written a little bit after I graduated from college. Understandable. That's fine. Did I tell it to open or is it just gonna? Oh, there it is. I was like, did I just close it? This is, I think, my second attempt at something that. Let me just also tell you, I don't know where the Baltic Sea is, so why would I even mention it? I have no idea. That's not correct. I'm aware that it exists. Where on the map is questionable. Maybe not where I thought it was, but let's see what I wrote. Definitely not where I thought it was. Yeah, there's not much to this. It's just a groove. That's it. That's all there was to this. As again, one of the rhythmic groove thing. You can tell how early this was by where the beginning actually takes place on this line of this is the measure count. And if it's on starts on measure 2, that means I didn't understand why measure 1 never sounded. And it's usually because I would start right before the metronome had hit the downbeat, like it started a little bit before, and if it starts a little bit before, it cannot see it. Yes, I learned that yesterday that it was around Sweden. I was like, that's not where I thought that was. That also explains the Baltic region versus the Balkan region versus the Mediterranean region. Just a little bit more. I'm amazed that even though I play so much GeoGuessr, I've never thought to look at where is the Baltic region and why is it called the Baltics? Where's the Baltic Sea? But now I know. Thank you. I appreciate your addition to my geography education because I did not. I only knew it was somewhere around Sweden just yesterday, and so now I have to look to actually see what it looks like, so I'm not stupid again. This is definitely just a groove. I was really playing with how a marimba plays, with how a marimba actually sounds. Can I get this, please? Thank you. I love that this is supposed to be the same rhythm, but something was just off enough with my playing that it didn't recognize these as triplets. So that's fine. And then I wanted to count. I think I was practicing counterpoint at this point too. So I wanted to do something that was counter to what was originally happening. So if we have, because a lot of this was syncopated, or at least it felt syncopated. So it's like, well, what if we have accents on, the downbeats? And then, oh, interesting, because here I don't think I realized that there was a note missing. If I legit, I think if I pull this off to the left, will reveal an empty a note that was not seen. Look at that! It's crazy time. And this is what I mean. You don't get that first note if it's before the line of the start of the measure where this green bar is, the one that, says this is where we're starting. So it just disappears. So if I actually threw this back in here where it should be, change that, this is going to sound like a totally different song. Maybe, probably not. Oh, it actually throws it off. No, thank you. I will keep the brokenness. Let's undo. There we go. There we go. That sounds much better. And then it broke itself again. Sometimes the best things happen when they're broken. That's not a life lesson. Maybe it is. Take it how you will. And then the bass is just, it's kind of the walking. Mm. It kind of lined up there, which is what the goal was. And then it picks up and then it resets itself again the next time the measure comes around. Anyway, that's the Baltic Sea. It's fine. It's fine. We're not going to save that because I don't know if I messed up anything else. So we're just not going to. All right, so let's go to something that's an actually polished piece of music. We'll go to David's favorite one. Okay, have fun at your 30-minute prayer. Hope to see you soon. If not, have a good night. Let's go with what is the name of that? I thought it was a mafia outing. Oh no. Oh no. I don't know where it is. Oh no. Now I'm sad. It's probably listed something like saved as something stupid, but the actual like song is correct. Knowing me, but you know what? A mafia outing was not written during college, so we don't need to revisit that one. Um, let's go with uh, what was that called? I don't think I have some of my music in here. That's a concern, but it's all right. It's okay. Scary, but okay. That's okay. We have other ones to go. We're gonna start. We're gonna jump to. I opened the stream with it, but I could not tell you what I was playing earlier. Uh, no, not that. Ooh, we could do Japanese gardens though. That was a jazz. Okay, so this is Japanese gardens, and uh, I'm trying to remember what this one is. Oh, this was me playing with the pentatonic scale. So loud. There we go. Oh, I'm scared. I hope this doesn't crash my program. This is using the Sonatina oboe slash English horn, which is a great beginner and free one, but it's also easy to crash all the things. Also, one of my favorite English horn sounds. Harp, I need you to do more. I don't know if I've ever said, but I love the marimba. Really? Why are you not? Okay. So this piece was not written for school, but definitely something that I've fully finished and polished. This ending right here was its own thing. This is what started this whole piece of music. Is that I wrote? Was it? Yeah, this came first. The ending came first. Um, it didn't fit at the beginning like I wanted it to, but I actually had written this part first because I needed. Because I don't know, I just it was so pretty. Because I was playing with different rhythms with the same melody, kind of like I don't know. Oh no! Thank you. I'm not trying to edit it. I don't have that kind of brain, but have fun practicing and all the things. I hope to see you next week. Have a good one. Goodbye. Hmm. Let's go back. Thank you. I think my favorite part of this piece is 20 measure 27. Let's see. No, no. It's actually it's starting at 43. There's so listening to this, like I enjoy the melody of the oboe and the English horn together, but this moment, this what is this? This is somewhere between measure 56 and 57. I don't know why it's like this. I don't think I put a different time signature in. That's probably the issue. Anyway, this moment here is one of my favorite. Like we get to this kind of, to me, it kind of is a strange melody because it doesn't have, like, it doesn't really flow as well as I thought it did. Maybe as I thought last, like back in the day when I wrote it, but it actually it ends in this moment where you hear the uh, bass of the marimba, and I don't know, something atmospheric about it. It's probably the groove of it. Mm-mm, don't do that. But yeah, that's Japanese Gardens. That one, I wish I had it performed, but I didn't know if we had strings that could play it in college. We weren't known for an orchestra. I think we had maybe 7 people who played strings. I don't know. It was not a major thing there. Rain, however, that's the other one I was thinking about. There's another one written right after Japanese Gardens. I was on a roll with these two, I think. We're not even going to start at the beginning. Like, the beginning's fine. Like, it's fine. Okay, we'll start at the beginning. I may not listen to it because it's a lot. It's a lot of flute. It's a lot of flute. It's a lot of things. It's also very loud. Why'd I do this to the harp? What is balance even? What does that even mean? Ugh, that's gross sounding. What is this? Why does that sound so weird? So I should clarify, this is the only part that matters to me in this whole entire song. Um, Not true. The whole thing matters. It all matters. But this part particularly is the one that I work the most on. And also I realize I have played with the instruments and they're very different from what I originally wrote because I can't ever stop messing with pieces that are already done. I have a real issue. So we have the trombone choir that's now coming in to mix with the oboe and the English horn, which some of my favorite measures. And I don't know why, but I feel like I would write trombones pretty good. I really like how they end up sounding, and I really love a trombone choir. Those are the words. Then we add in a running harp line because I like to torture harpists, I guess. Maybe it's easy. Can't even hear it. Pause. Let's actually hear each of these lines because I feel like it's important to understand the layers that went into this. And this is just outlining the chords. These are just arpeggios, which I struggle at getting away from because arpeggios are nice. All right, so then we'll go up to the oboes. Adding the English horns in. Oh wow, so originally I should also clarify. Originally, the cello was playing what is now the trombones part, but let's actually listen to the cello, what the cello is doing now, which I realize now is directly to not counter but to harmonize with the English horn. I think. What is this sound? Why is it so rough? Hold up. We gotta get this to catch up with itself. Why was that so slow? Why? Why are you like this? Oh. Okay, let's try it again. We're gonna get through this. We're gonna get through this. We're gonna get through this. It's gonna be great. I can only hope. Let's go ahead and just put it on that. That. Thank you for joining the party. I appreciate it. Ooh, I can already feel the bass booming. It's probably not going to sound good though. I heard it earlier. Okay, fine. Sounds fine. Yeah, the double bass is definitely just doubling the cellos. What is this? Let's change that. Let's give it a moment for it to think and marinate on its life choices. Figure out yourself. Are you good? Okay. I don't like how that sounds. I don't like how that sounds. Why? Maybe we need the other originals. Uh, Epic Strings. Let's try that one. It's really taking its dear time to switch instruments today. This is lovely. That's fine. Alright, play. And jump forward because I don't want to wait that long. So, here's my thoughts. The oboe in this particular instrumentation or this particular sample set, the Sonatina oboe, was great before I got the new instruments. And so now it feels a little bit thin. The English horn, which is weirdly enough the same exact instrument, it's just a different setting within the oboe, sounds fantastic with the rest of it. But the oboe sounds extremely thin. So let's change that to something that we know sounds good, which is the oboe in the BBC Symphony Orchestra, which is right here. There's no English horn, and this makes me sad because all I want is an English horn. I just want a really good English horn. I guess now would be a good time to be like, here's, I have a goal, a monetary goal to get the Spitfire Studio Woodwinds collection in the top right hand corner. But I don't know how to do that, so I'm not going to. But I just really want a good English horn. The solo and ensemble, though I don't know if there's ever been an ensemble of English horns. Oh my goodness. Anyway, let's. I changed the oboe, so let's see if it sounds better. Hang on. Different instrument, different setting. It's now an octave higher. We gotta lower it because otherwise we're gonna kill the poor oboist. I wonder if I can get away with using the built-in sample of the oboe. No, no, take your time. I didn't have anything else going on today, computer. I understand this is the first time I've used my computer since the update to the OS, but at the same time, I need it to work faster. It's not a mystery what's going on. Or maybe it is, and I just need to be patient. Patience is a virtue, one would say. Let's see if this does the job. I already hate it. Already hate it. What if. Let's try clarinet. Why is it so harsh? See, this is going to drive me crazy. I just want a good sound for this instrument. Why am I starting to lose my voice? This is not good. This is the second time I've had a crack, and it's not good. What if we went with violins? Let's try with violins. Let's see how we feel about that. In case you want to put the French horns into the stratosphere. It almost works. Oh, the flute actually sounds good. Which, knowing me, the flute was the original and I just totally forgot. It's definitely possible, but I have my doubts. Because I know how when I hear an instrument that I like, oh no, why is this stream unstable? That's quirky. I wish it wouldn't do that. Knowing me, I probably have it pretty, pretty. I forget what I was saying. I would definitely have it on the oboe and definitely the English horn. Anyway, let's hear the whole thing one more time before we move on. Why are you doing this stream? You're like jumping around. Why are you unstable? Who knows why? There's no sense sometimes in what's happening. We're going to go ahead and save this. Probably a mistake on my part. It shows that it's stable. You know, it's probably that one instrument. The Sonata instruments have done some mean things to this computer over the years. So let's not do that again. Oh, this one's good. All right. This is called Bring About Light. Bring About Light. Yes. This is a thing which I actually, weirdly enough, discovered the song that inspired this, which is a song called Collapse Light into Earth by Porcupine Tree. Fantastic piece of music if you've never heard it. But it was inspired, but it did not follow this everything about it Um, it shows no dropped frames, but this is definitely showing the stream is unstable. Weird. Maybe it's just for me. Anyway, let's continue. So the beginning part, pretty something. It's pretty something. That's all I can say about it. It's a something. It's a duet. That's what I was looking for. The whole thing started off with this piano part. Why are we doing that particular thing? That's fine. So, oh no, I can't reach my pedal. Okay, I found the pedal underneath my desk. So, what I should do is actually look at the part that I'm actually playing. Why did it switch? I didn't. Okay. The bass line is pretty easy because, again, my left hand's not bright. So, all I can do. Okay, it's just the standard motion of every single one of my pieces I've ever written, apparently. Right hand. Can I do that? There we go. I just wanted to practice playing chords that only move a couple, 1 to 2 notes at a time. This is a 1 note change from G to A flat. This one changes 2 notes to make it E flat major. And then I wanted dissonance. Which I think this is an interesting sound, and I am struggling. There we go. I can hear it now. Where was I? Where was I? Am I okay? There we go. And the whole thing is set on this one measure of these chords that are changing. Like, everything's leading up to these measures themselves. You get this a few cycles, and then you get to the ultimate change, is what I'll call it today, but it's really just the one that leads into the rest of the piece. It's the one that is the statement of it. So we have pretty much what's been normal at this point. This is a G minor 7 without the 5. to just a E flat major to a first inversion G major. Yep. And then an anticipation to back to 1. Holy cow, I remember all these terms. I am honestly surprised. So, this sounds like in whole. And this is the one that made me that I really like this chord progression because it was just purely it's no different weirdly enough in the left hand, but it changed how I felt about the whole thing because it went from to which feels more dramatic. I was writing this purely on feeling. This felt more dramatic where it starts off really closed in because this is a very close chord. These notes are within like 5 whole steps of each other. And then it fully opens up into a full octave, which is fun. And of course, it hits the low note in the left hand because it's powerful. I wanted it to be powerful. So that's what we get with this piano part. I feel like my ears are clogged. They may be, but not so much that I can't hear this piano. Did I go all the way? No, I didn't. But I let the basses come in to do that for me. Did I don't think I actually made it powerful because this is like the umpteenth iteration of this. This used to be what I thought maybe this is kind of based off of the Might of Rome piece from the soundtrack of Gladiator. Like this is the moment where they're entering into the city or something like that. And then I was like, well, what if it wasn't again? What if I brought it down to just a little duet or something? But I don't know what this is anymore. It's a whole thing of unknown. And I kind of wish I could change that. And my problem with this setup is that I can't, for the life of me, make it so that the piano sounds with the chord changes because that's the most important part. Otherwise, it's just a drone of the same chords. Oops. It's just the same notes. Like it, and that's why the strings can actually kind of play it without having to put in the separation of the notes. Because that's all the strings are playing. But because of how the strings work on the computer like this, it's not good at sounding out the changes of the notes. And it's something I definitely need to learn how to fix because it's a pain point in a lot of my music. But I don't know how to fix it right now, and it makes me sad. So that's why I have to keep the piano in. Because I could go without the piano in all of this, or at least when the strings come in, they can drop. I was wondering where that other trombone sound was coming from. play yet? My whole goal at this point of the song, in measure 17 to the end, is to make this high note in the what was trombones at one point, but it's now French horns. I don't know if that's accurate. In any case, my whole goal was to make that the thing that was heard the most, and to understand the dramatic soaringness of this one note. Am I on trumpet here? Is that what's happening? When did I? I love what I do when I playing too much with things. Okay, so we are on trumpets here, and I refuse to give this line to the trumpets because it could have been cool, but it's absolutely unnecessary. I just refuse. This is my song. I do what I want. So we're on trombone here. Cool. That note is everything. Yep, that's what that is. Cool. Didn't realize I put the trumpets in there. I tend to not save. All right, so we got like a little less than half an hour. There is one I wanted to go to. Is A flat melody the one I was thinking of? Yes. This is actually called a Mafia outing. This whole piece, actually, I wrote this in my first semester. And by I say I wrote this, I wrote snippets of it for so many different reasons. I wrote this in class piano because I was just playing. I should also pause right there because this part, what notes am I on? Mm. Where am I? I can't see where I am. I'm struggling out here. I'm here. What does the left hand look like? Okay. Cool. I should have known. Was actually for left hand. It was actually. Can we bring this down octave? Like that's what it actually was. But I managed to uh, work it out a little bit. This is definitely a song in form. This is like the second verse. This next part, right here, is verbatim something I wrote independently of this. It's actually, I tried to put it into several different songs and I could never find a way to do it. All right. I'm sorry. Now it feels off, and I'm like, where are we? Because I messed up. I threw off the phrasing. And it just happened that this upper line works well with this other line right here. Like it wasn't meant to actually sound like that, but then it came together in such a way I was like, I can't hate it. I wish it wouldn't change the screen so I can follow the thing. Just like it just works out so nicely. That's it pretty much as it fades out to nothing. But it's definitely uh, s- mm, it's definitely a piece. It's definitely to me it feels really interesting and final place for these two particular things. Mm, like that, I've been trying to put into something. It's almost right up there with that. trying to find my notes is always hard, but I also haven't played that either in years. We can visit that song later. And I can say with all happiness that I've never written this into anything else since I finished this piece because I needed a home for it, and it finally found its forever home, and I am so happy it got adopted. Because I don't know, it felt lonely. It kept trying to fit into other pieces, and even my composition teacher was like, "It doesn't really fit," and I'm just like, "But it does, it does," and he's like, "But it doesn't," and I went off of his thing, and then I was like, "That's fine, it doesn't fit." All right, here's one that actually has a performance, but I don't have that on this computer. I should bring that over. That would be great. This is called obstreperous. What that word means, I don't know at the moment, but there was a meaning behind it and why I chose it and why I had to look into the dictionary for it. I don't know if we'll go over all of this, but this is important because this whole piece was written so that just to test if I can make sure every single beat had a note on it. Every single, like, I think it was eighth note. Like, there was something happening every eighth note. Or maybe it was every beat. I don't remember. But it was that kind of challenge. So, where did I... Oh, this is my favorite part. Which, this is a really... This is a simple piece. I say simple. It's a 5-part harmony, and it's all meant to be in staccato. And I like to play, and part of this was also I wanted it to play between instruments. I wanted each instrument to be able to play off of each other. So at this point right here at measure 15, we're actually playing we have rolling arpeggios between the cellos and the violas. And the second violas. Or the second violin is against the first violin. Actually, it's everyone playing off of each other at this point. One will finish the line while the other's picking it up. But also, this was meant to be an exercise in writing in form because I had just gotten done with one of my theory classes where we talked about form in terms of there are actually forms to every symphony you'll listen to. There's a form to every single piece of music. And if you've ever heard of like Rhapsody in Blue or Rhapsody on a Theme by Paganini, by Rachmaninoff in this case, the second one is. The first one's by Gershwin. Those are a specific form. A fugue has a form. Everything has a form, at least in classical music in the overall sense. Then we get a little bit more free form as we get more recent. This was supposed to be a sonata allegro form, which means we get an A, we get A prime, sections being A, you have whatever A is, could be the melody, then we get the melody with a little bit more flourish to it, and then we get the B section. So A prime, B, and then we get like B prime, then we get A prime, prime, and then B prime, prime, and then we go back to A. Sonata allegro form. It's a really weird way of, I guess it'd be more like a C. And then there's development. There's development. That's something that I also missed. I need to go over that lesson. It's been, again, like 20 years since I've had this lesson. So A and B are different melodies altogether, different keys, different time signature. Now, for the performance, this was all performed on woodwind instruments and the piano. The second time was on piano, the first time was on double bass. So we're coming up on my favorite section, because there's so much that's happening here. So now we're going to repeat this because I love to look at, listen to, and think about this section because it's very interesting to me. But let's talk about the bass line. And also, I'm not sure if this could actually be played pizzicato for everyone. I don't know how difficult this actually is. But I don't know if you see this arpeggio down here in this note, because this note is the most important one on the bass line, if not the entire section. Because I needed it to really lean on this other note, so I had to make it a little bit louder. But why is there so much echo or something? Can I turn that off? That's not it. Nope, just out here doing too much. But yes. Oh, I guess that wasn't the note I wanted to lean on. I think I wanted to lean on boom, 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 boom. This one. This note it needs to lean on. But what does that pair with? And this is one of my favorite games with myself, apparently, is to pair instruments together on this, but never to play the whole thing, and definitely not the melody for some reason. I think the viola has the best line in terms of overall interest, but that's also why I like to pair it with the bass, because they're on the same page on that. Like that, I don't know. There's a groove to that I do dance to all the time, and even then, I'm like bum 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 bum. Like it just hits differently. Beat 2 is where it's at. That's all I'm saying. All right, let's continue. Let's add in. This is violin 2. We're back to the 3 against 2. But I'm trying to figure out what makes violin 2 interesting. It's back here. That second measure within this, measure 84, is apparently where all the sass of this song went into. And leading into it is 83, of course, so we have to have that. But those two measures, in fact, let's slow it down. Let's just slow it down. All right, so let's hear this one more time. So I think this would be like, this isn't A prime. I think this is actually like C, because there is a C section. Because nothing else in this piece of music sounds like this section. Let's see. Let's also extend it out, because there's more to this section. Because then I do the thing again where I'm like, what if I hated all my instrumentalists, all my performers, and said, what if we went from like 2 flats to 6 sharps? And then it just felt mean. And then I said, what if we went from 3/4 to 5/8? Wouldn't that be fun? And this is development. Like, we're getting snippets of the original melody, we're playing with it, we're modulating, we're doing whatever we're doing to it. That's development. Ooh, this is another area where I'm just like, ooh, it got sassy there too. This set of measures. In fact, I'm gonna remove violin 1 because it's just so out there. See, we got to continue to break it down because the bass line came in a place that is so interesting. That triplet right there, matching up with the triplet. In fact, we're going to remove the cello. We're going to add in violin 2. Yes. So I didn't want to have any like major silences or anything in this, even though other songs I particularly said I want little moments of silence because those are impactful too. But this, I was like, I want to have some hits that hit. But you can only hear it if you don't have the violin 1 playing. There's just a fun lilt to that. Anyway, let us continue. This was a different piece of music that I had wrote, but I was like, oh, actually, this makes a good transition for this. Because now we're getting to the end of the piece. Let's see. So I realize now that, and I probably realized it earlier on, but this section was specifically inspired by Rachmaninoff and how he writes his waltzes. He always has. He always has. Usually, you think a waltz is going to be simple. Oh, are we going to play? But Rachmaninoff, when he writes a waltz, he changes the second repetition. Instead of, he's like, it's always changing. It's never just the same. That's more of a Viennese waltz, which is lovely, and it also has its own specific rhythm. But his waltzes always are changing, and I really love that about him. And then I end on a Picardy third because why not? I guess. But this being performed on let's see. Let's not save that. Being performed on woodwind instruments sounds pretty cool, but it does lack some of the attack strength I wanted on the shorter notes. I guess it's the end of stream, but I want to do one more piece because I was playing with it earlier, and that is the two marimba piece, Opion. This is definitely one of my favorites that I've ever written. Not all the music I write is not my favorite. You would think it would be, but it's not. This is a piece that was they had one rehearsal, and it was also played by tape because we don't have a full orchestra at my college, so we ended up having to play. All the orchestra part was played as that came from out of finale and in MIDI form. Sounded okay, and then we had two live marimba players, and they did not have enough time. I finished this 3 days before my senior recital, and they had one day to practice, and it was not a great practice, but they did it, and they did their best. So, because we don't have all the time in the world anymore, but also there's not much I want to talk about this piece except for this section right in here. Uh, let's see. I think it's let's see what this is. Yes, the marimba's cool, but weirdly enough, that's not what draws my attention. Oh no, you gotta have that last note, because otherwise it just feels incomplete. I think I changed this from the pizzicato that I really like to hear to this one, to the BBC Symphony Orchestra, which is, it's fine. but it's not my favorite. Um, and so you're missing a lot of the boom of the double bass, especially as it gets further on down. Anyway, this is fun. Okay, now I will bring the marimbas back in. Do I really want to though? So to clarify, the marimbas were in like 12/8 and everyone else was in 4/4, which is strange to do, but it was because I needed the rhythm to be just that kind of phasing in and out of each other. Oh, and then it gets wild. So this little section right here, it's not fully fixed from when I converted it from MIDI to this, because that's not supposed to be. No, it's supposed to be. One of them is going down, the other is going up, probably in the right rhythm, but that's not what it's showing. It just feels like chaos. But this was actually a different piece of music called Dax that I wrote. Don't know why I named it that. I was just looking for a quick word. But I did enjoy the fact that the melody actually hopped between the, oh, this is violin one, the second marimba, down to the viola, up to violin two. Yeah. I just realized this needs to go into the line with the long instruments. Anyway. I spent a significant amount of time the other day putting everything where it needs to go in terms of what's actually being bowed and what's actually being plucked. And I'm still not done. Let me just tell you, getting this part right, because I had to play this out on the keyboard, which is harder than one would think. Like, and then, but I didn't. Luckily, I got to record in 4 different little sections, but it was still really hard to do, and I'm very proud that it turned out as good as it did. And this is another one where I have to roll, but I don't know how to roll one note at a time. It doesn't make sense to me on the keyboard. It's harder to do, at least. Oh, and my teacher said this chord is like a German Russian 6th chord, and I'm like, whatever that means, that sounds like fun. It was a weird chord, but repetition legitimizes, and so therefore it is now a legitimate chord that I made just now or back then. I don't know why that first one's so fast. I'll have to fix that. More rolling of the marimba. Really need to make that happen, but I don't know how. I do like that ending though. Anyway, I am tired of talking. So thank y'all for coming to stream. For those who are still here and those who have already gone, thank y'all for coming. I appreciate it. I will be streaming next week. I should be streaming next week, assuming my car is done, because I got to get it oil changed and stuff. But they don't make people who sit there and wait too long. Um, I will. I don't know what I plan on doing next week because this week feels very different, but we'll see next week. There will be an announcement as per usual. Um, I hope y'all have a great rest of your day and a great week, and I hope to see you then. Have a good one. I love y'all. Oh, goodness. Is it going to let me do it? Okay, there we go. Bye.